This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishikesh.
One of the country's most talented young singers is here in studio. Anmol Malik, what's up? How are you?
Hi, I think you're being very kind, but thank you.
Listen, I just find the fact that you straddle both worlds, which is, independent English singing,
Yes.
as well as regular commercial Hindi film music and Hindi independent music so easily. And
Thank
I think
you.
that's very, very cool.
Firstly, I'm really excited to be here because you don't understand. Radio 1 is the one channel that's playing at my home, in my car all the time. So for me to be sitting here on this chair now on the other side is just ridiculous. I can't believe it.
Awesome. Let's start with some of your independent music
Yes.
recently that has happened. There's a video which features Gurmeet Chaudhary, the actor, which
Yes.
is Tum Hi To Ho.
Yes.
It's got a very old school kind of vibe to it.
Very
Tell me about the
jazzy.
song. Very jazzy. Yeah.
So, that obviously stems from the fact that I love jazz music. And I thought it'd be interesting to marry the two worlds, a little bit of Hindi, a little bit of jazz. And because it was, in an indie space, I was free to do what I wanted. And I have to thank Z Music for that and my own father, Mr. Anmol Malik, because they both believed in the idea. And so we made this little baby of a song. And Swanan Kirkare has written such beautiful lyrics on this tune. And I think the whole thing came together very easily. And the song released. And I don't know what we were expecting, but the minute it launched, so many people who heard it felt, hey, this is a little fresh. This is something new. I like it. I'm humming to it. And I think that was the, objective of releasing a song like this.
Considering the kind of goodwill that your dad has in the business, he can pick up the phone and call any actor to come and star in your video. But how did you think of Gurmeet? Is he a friend of yours or,
So yes, Gurmeet is a friend of ours, and he was very kind to be a part of this video because frankly, I'm just stepping into the market myself. These are new things that I'm trying, and this was a bit of an experiment for even me. I think he was just ultra kind to say, yes, I'd like to be seen in this video, and he was just a dream to work with. He was very sweet. And speaking of the fact that my father has a lot of goodwill in the industry, I think it's because he works so super hard, and it's something that's, he's ingrained in us as well. But yeah, he's not the sort to keep picking up phones. He's very blunt. It's mostly about what can you achieve on your own. And I think that's great because that's going to sustain me for a much longer time than if he keeps picking up the phone and opening doors for me.
And don't tell me Gurmeet did the whistling part himself.
Oh, you're such a darling.
Just saying.
Well, he did actually, when we were shooting, he did whistle on the set, but the whistle that you're hearing is actually my dad's. I think you can hear it because it's that Mehuna whistle going on, the same
Correct,
texture.
yeah.
So that's my dad's. But
He's done a fair bit of tapori whistling in his songs. This one is a lot more melodic. That's lovely. The other track was Jia Na Jaye.
Yes.
That's pure romance.
That's pure romance, and surprisingly, I have composed that.
Yeah?
Which is
Wow.
really weird because I always thought I'd compose a more jazzy Hindi song, but I ended up composing that's something that's a little bit more traditional. And I really like the tune because when I composed it, I woke up the next day still humming it. And my acid test is always my dad because he is so super blunt, it's scary. So if I tell him, hey, this is a song, he will shoot it down, I think in the first 4 bars. He won't let you continue. But this is a song that he heard, from start to finish, and he really liked it. And he said, there's something there. So we started with Jia Na Jaye. And again, Z Music.
And that video is a little starker in terms of the fact that it's just you with a mic on camera. Didn't think of any other storyboard, just wanted the song in all its rawness?
In all its rawness, because I think I didn't want to color the song in any which way. It was such a simple song, and I just wanted the song to, if I had my way, I probably would have just released a lyric video. But this, we did a very simple video around it. It took no time at all to shoot it. Me, a mic, and the song, because I wanted the song to live more. And I think this is an idea that even Z Music had. And I cannot tell you how supportive they've been, especially to indie artists, who are coming up with non-film songs. Brilliant. I think is brilliant. I think
Anurag Bedi and Kirti Rai are just amazing blokes.
Anurag sir he's on a different level altogether when it comes to sensing talent and taking it at the right time and then putting it on the right stage. He's just a different guy, and I'm so thankful that I know someone like him. I think Anurag sir is probably the reason I've been able to release these 2 singles and see the kind of exposure they have received. So thank you so much. I really hope he's listening to this. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
We'll send him the interview later, even if he's not listening. But I'm no stylist and I'm not known for my fashion sense, but it's really well styled, Jia Na Jaye. The floral dress that you're wearing. It's quite amazing. Did you pick it out yourself?
I did. It's from my wardrobe. But I'm more excited about the dress I wore in Tum Hi To Ho. That gown is made by my sister. So that's a very special gown, by the way, because it's got this rare form of, I have no idea what the formal words are, but it's basically the kind of art form that you would see in Milan and in Paris. And, I think the top couturiers at Dior, utilize that kind of style, and she has hand sewn the entire thing. It's a very rare art that she's learned from New York and come down. So that's all her.
And emoting in front of the camera, you're no stranger to that. You're no stranger to that, because a lesser known fact is that you acted in a Yasir Desai song.
Oh God. Oh my God.
It's been a while, but still. But looks as though you're embarrassed by that one.
No, I'm not embarrassed.
You're actually quite cool in that. Don't be hard on yourself.
Thank you. You know what? I'm always very hard on myself, no matter what. And especially facing the camera. I don't know how actors do it. I mean, hats off to them. You think it's easy when you're sitting and you're watching them. Then you actually are in their shoes and you're like, wait, hang on. It's not easy to bring all these emotions on your face, at a finger snap.
And I'm too body conscious to ever be able to do that. Which is why I'm sticking to the radio. These are not the only projects that you've done for Zee Music Company. I mean, there was Ek Mulaqat, which is part of the Sonali Cable soundtrack. A sweet little film with Riya as well as Ali Fazal.
Yes.
So just your memories of singing Ek Mulaqat.
Ek Mulaqat also was a fabulous song, Again, that was Zee Music. I can see the connection between Zee Music and the kind of music that I end up picking. They were very supportive of my voice even back then. And I don't think I'd sung a song that was that emotional. I usually was known up to that point for singing a lot of party numbers, which I'm still very happy with. I love singing, so I love singing all different types of songs. But I think that Ek Mulaqat was the first song that I sang that kind of made me realize there are things I can do with my voice that I haven't explored yet. And again, that was thanks to Zee Music. And Anurag sir. Fangirling over there.
As far as international music is concerned, there are two tracks. One is Into the Night and the other is Let Me Come Home.
I'm so excited now into this part. Yay.
Yeah. I remember at the time when Into the Night came out and, Let Me Come Home, it got a fair bit of airplay, not just at VH1 but also at 9XO.
Yes.
And take me into the making of those two songs. It seems as though you're really at home there, doing the international ballad crooning routine.
Yes, so my musical education has been pretty much something, bits and pieces that I've picked up on my own, and I've naturally kind of gravitated towards Western music.
So what were you listening to when you were growing up?
Okay, so the very first song I remember, so there was obviously the Beatles and the Smiths, but the very first song that I remember caught my fancy was Celine Dion singing away Titanic's, My Heart Will Go On. And I didn't realize that someone could belt their voice that beautifully before. And I remember trying it. I think I was 9 or 7? I don't remember. And obviously I couldn't sing it like her, and it really disappointed me. And I think I spent a good summer just trying to figure out how she did it. And that's when this whole, hey, I want to listen to more of this stuff. This is really cool. Then went Billie Holiday and Now Washington, came out with Third Eye Blind, again Nora Jones. I've covered the entire spectrum of music, and I am fascinated by one thing, and I've realized this now. It's lyrics. I love lyrics. I love the way people play around with it, whichever language they're playing around with it. And like even someone like Ed Sheeran, when I listen to his music, the first thing that attracts me is how he tells a story. It's almost like he's made a poem, but it's got the rhythm of hip hop, but he's got a nice strong melody to it. And it fascinates me how someone does that. That's such great. I mean, John Mayer, When You're Dreaming with a Broken Heart, Waking Up is the Hardest Part. Like, oh my God, it just like grips you. That kind of stuff, and therefore I started writing, in English, and I became a lot more comfortable in it. So when I write tunes today, I kind of, if I have to make them in Hindi, then I'll just convert the lyrics in Hindi. But I naturally tend to write in English. Like, Let Me Come Home, I just spoke so much. I just realized it was a monologue of like, hey, someone's talking to me about this stuff.
No, I loved it because you were really involved in what you were talking about, talking about your growing up influences. Into the Night is obviously a song about love.
It is. It's a heartbreak song, but the song that's actually closer to me is Let Me Come Home, because the chords that I've utilized to compose that song are all gospel chords. And that song essentially for me is like a prayer. So, which is why it's one of the most honest songs I've ever written. Can I sing a few lines?
Yeah. I was going to make you do some Dina Washington too.
Oh.
But anyway, maybe you can do that and then you can go on.
Hey, yeah, I don't mind. Okay, so this Dina Washington song, What a Difference a Day Makes. Obviously, I'm not going to do it justice. So if anybody's listening out there, please don't kill me. What a difference a day makes. 24 little hours brought the sun and the flowers. Where there used to be rain, my days were blue, dear. Today I'm a part of you, dear. My lonely nights are through, dear, since you said you were mine. Oh, Lord, what a difference a day makes. Oh man, how do people write stuff like this? Oh no.
Got you. That's lovely. Now go into
Let Me
Come Home. Yeah.
I love the lyrics of Let Me Come Home more than the tune. The lyrics were something that really caught my fancy. I threw water on the sun in the evening. and the moon lies in pieces by my bedside. It still wasn't dark enough, so I picked up a jar. I held it to the night sky and captured all the stars. And still I have dreams I don't like, and there are nightmares that I love. There must be something wrong. I'm yet to be born. So let me come home to where you are, because I'm tired of being alone.
Beautiful.
I threw water on the sun in the evening, and the moon lies in pieces by my bedside. It still wasn't dark enough, so I picked a jar. I held it to the night sky and captured all the stars. Still I have dreams I don't like. There are nightmares I love. There must be something wrong. I am yet to be born. Let me come home where you are. Let me come home. I'm tired of being alone.
You know, when you sing, you're almost meditative. You're so in the moment. I don't know if anybody's told you that. Which is so beautiful. Amazing.
Thank you.
So, and now that we know that Let Me Come Home is your eternal favorite,
Yes.
I have to say that I didn't mind the outfit in Into the Night either. Was that by the sister too?
Yes, that was by the sister. I don't think she likes it when I wear any other clothes. And I'm really bad
Why
at
would
styling. Yeah, I'm really bad at styling myself. I mean, right now I'm wearing all black, as you can tell. This is like my go-to outfit. If you see me any time of the day or the night, I'm dressed like this. It's like a Steve Jobs moment. Don't have to think what you're wearing in the morning.
So, does she also come on set when the shoot happens? Yeah.
She does. She's very protective of her gowns. I think she loves them more than her family members.
So she doesn't come so that it looks good on you.
No, not
She's
at all.
just worried that you'll spill it or there's a tear or
Absolutely.
whatever.
Don't touch it. No foundation on it. Don't grab it. Don't tighten it. There's a code of instructions. She's like the protective father when you're sending your daughter to prom.
That is quite an analogy. So, Into the Night.
Into
Do
the
me
Night.
some. Yeah.
Into the Night. I haven't sung Into the Night in a while. My favorite line from Into the Night was, our memories will become stories that we will tell someone else. And it's so true for, most couples. They'll have their breakup and, suddenly you've been best friends with this person. You spend all this time with this person, now you can't talk to them. And all these memories that you've had, they've become like these, it's become a part of your life. And there are all these stories that you kind of now will tell somebody else, but you'll never tell it to the person that you made those memories with.
Interesting.
That's such a weird feeling, I think breakups are really messy, no matter how well traveled.
Nothing easy about that one.
No.
Yeah.
So this line goes something like, our memories will become stories that we will tell someone else. I'll think of you, you'll think of me only when the nights are the loneliest. Into the night, what's on your mind? Because I know you're awake. Oh, into the night, who's by your side? And does it feel the same? Oh.
Thing of beauty. So, working with Dad, how often does that happen? I know it happened during Welcome Back.
Yes.
Has that happened before, after,
has,
in terms of film music? I know, he helps out with the independent stuff too, but I'm just saying.
In terms of film music, I think one of the biggest breaks I did get was very unintentional. It was a song called Talli.
This is,
Rangita Nanti.
was this ugly?
Yes, Ugly or Pugly.
Ugly or Pugly.
And again, I have to give loads of hugs to Rangita because it was her who heard the voice and said, hey, you know what? She's not just a backup singer. She's great. Like, if you've used her for the scratch, let her be for the final. And that song came out and it essentially, for the next 2-3 years, changed the course of my life. Till today, if I go anywhere and I do a gig, I have to sing Talli because even if it's not in my set list and even if it's not right for the set list, people make me sing it.
It's a party song.
It's a fun song, and I think it was one of those first songs that came out where a girl finally went and said, hey, you know what, I'm going to get drunk and I'm going to have fun. And I was still in school, so I came to that recording with my water bottle around my neck. And I didn't know what Talli meant. Nobody believes me when I say this, but I did not. But that song kind of really did wonders for me, and I think that's Anmol Malik's magic for you. He always gives you these songs that kind of live on for a really long time. Like I remember Piya Piya in Har Dil Jo Pyar Karega. That song, it's just, you play it even today and it's evergreen. You play Tan 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 Tan. I mean, all his songs like Mo Mo Ke Dhage. I don't know how he does it, but he's a genius.
To me, the stuff that he created in Border is something that I still go back to.
Amazing.
It's remarkable, isn't it?
Refugee. Yeah. He's a very large part of the Bollywood music scene. That is something that I don't think anyone can take away.
And the Welcome Back one was with John. John sang.
Yeah. And but the Welcome Back song was composed by Sharip Doshi. That wasn't...
that wasn't him?
No, that wasn't him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because I always thought that he was part of the franchise because Sajid and him are such great friends.
Yeah, Absolutely, like Jeene Ke Achar, he's got a very particular brand of music. But that's the incredible thing about him. He has a certain style.
Is that Sajid or Firoz? I'm always confused between the two Nadiadwalas. I think Welcome is Firoz.
Yes.
Yeah, but he's friends with both of them.
The Welcome Back song. Oh, wait, you're right. Okay. I'm talking about a different one then. I'm talking about the one from Houseful.
Okay.
Yes, that was Sharab Toshi. This is the Welcome Back song. Yes, John Abraham and Shruti Hassan. Right. Oh my, you remember that better than I did. Oh God. Yeah, that was an incredible song. Time Lagai Kaiko. And that was with my dad. I think he came up with the song. I think it took him like less than an hour to come up with it. And he was 100% sure it's going to work. And it did. Like I have people now who'll come up and just randomly like hashtag me in it. Time Lagai Kaiko. And I'm like, okay.
Do you get to pull rank on him like some daughters pull rank on their dads?
They do?
Because they'll...
Please teach
So like Mr. Bachchan keeps saying that the one person who can tell him off or pull him up is actually Shweta and not the wife and not the son. So I'm just saying. Fathers have a soft spot for their daughters.
I'm pretty sure that a lot of things that I've told my dad and he's paid attention and he's listened. But when it comes to music, no, not music. Music is the one zone where, and I don't mind sitting and listening to him.
That's amazing. I was so surprised when the Tanu Weds Manu Return soundtrack had this old school song called what else but Old School Girl.
Yeah.
So whose idea was that? How did that come about? How do you end up singing the song?
Okay, a lot of the things that have happened in my life have just been beautiful coincidences. Okay, so I still do record a lot of covers and I had this habit of sending them out, basically hounding and irritating people with them. And a lot of them were in English. And I remember Krishika ji had heard one of them and she forwarded it off to Krishna, who composed Old School Girl.
Krishna Solo, yeah.
Yes. And I think between the two of them, they said, let's give this girl a try because there's something interesting. And I was really excited because I was like, okay, English in a Hindi movie. I don't care if you never use this song. I'm coming to sing it. And I think I the minute they called me, I was in the studio maybe in 5 minutes flat. And it was such a beautifully composed song. It's so beautiful, the entire track. And I remember Krishika ji heard it and Krishna sir heard it. And they're like, hey, you know what? This is locked. This is final. Well done. This song stays. And I think that concept of having a jazz song in English in a mainstream Hindi movie.
Yeah, where she's playing a jatni.
Yeah. It still blows my mind. And thank you so much to even Anand sir, the director of the movie, because he had that thought. He said, hey, I want this song in my movie, and he made it happen. And I think that entire team, I think that's the reason this movie went on to do so well, is because the makers and the producers, everybody working on this movie had a very clear vision and very fresh ideas, and they made it happen.
This thing about recording covers and just sending them out to people, is that what led to Mohit Suri directing a version of Coldplay's Paradise, which is Lamhe?
Yes.
Which has Mohit Marwa in the video along with you, which is, I think, is a lovely story that's told through a music video.
Nobody talks about love stories the way Mohit sir does. It's so difficult to pinpoint exactly what his magic is, because I've seen him work and I've seen the end product, and it's just incredible. I have no idea how he comes up with things that he does, but they just seem to hit you in all the right ways. He creates these pockets of moments that when you string them along together, the end product is something that just grips you, and it doesn't leave your mind. Like till today, whenever I watch the video of Lamhe, it's just an incredible story. It's a movie that he tells you in like 3 minutes. And of course that was a mixture of a lot of brains coming together. That was Vineet Thakkar, EMI, Mr. Devraj Sanyal from Universal, and Mohit Suri, and the lyricist Manoj ji. Like all these brains coming together in the same room, and then obviously my dad in that mix. It's just an incredibly powerful song that did come through, and I'm very, very, very glad that I was a part of it. I think Mohit Marwa also did such a fabulous job being a part of that video, and it's one of the better videos out there. I always feel whenever I see it, because it's such an incredible video, and you have a film director directing something like this, so he's got the film ideas into a really small 3-minute video, and he's just made it incredibly powerful.
When you were talking about influences when you were growing up, there was no Coldplay in there, so I take it you missed it out.
I did. I have a lot of. So my biggest influence though has always been this band called Third Eye Blind. Always. I think again it's because of the lyrics. And listen, my influences are all over the place. The band I was obsessed with while growing up was actually Blink 182, which you can never tell from my music.
Wow. Yeah. The punk rock of Blink 182. Amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But then they broke up, and then they formed something called Plus 44, and it was just a very bummed out time in my childhood. I was just like, why would you do that? But Blink 182 is, I think, the peak of what my childhood was. I Miss You and Adam's Song, and so many incredible songs. First Date. Oh my God, I'm thinking back to the 90s now. This is ridiculous. You remember them, right?
Of course. Great era for
and
music.
Look at the chord progression. There's some, like, if you take out the fact that it was a punk band and you just looked at their melody line, you'd be like, this is incredible. Like, this is so simple and hummable, and yet it touches you in it touches your heart in all the right ways, which is I Miss You. Hello there, the angel from my nightmare, the shadows in the background of the morgue, the unsuspecting victim of darkness in the valley. We can live like Jack and Sally if you want. Oh man, come on, this is just fun. This is great. And Sum 41 was pretty emo as well.
Yeah.
Until they suddenly went off the rails and did something. I forgot.
Man, I haven't heard these bands in like a decade. I should start revisiting all this music, man. Yeah.
I had the posters. I still do. Okay, so I had this T-shirt in school, which was my night suit. Okay, it had this. I think it was this band called Korn.
Korn.
K-O-R-N.
They were hard.
They were
hard
insane.
rockers, yeah.
I loved them. And they had this one thing which had like a bloody skull or something coming out. Like it had like a 3D thing on the T-shirt, and I used to sleep in that. And anytime a friend of mine came like knocking on the door, and I opened the door in with that T-shirt on, she'd be like, you know what? You're never getting married. You're never getting a boyfriend. You should know.
That is hilarious.
Man, I realize I'm very weird. But you gotta be a little weird to make music.
Yeah, you have to be, man. You have to be. So you're still in touch with your cousins? I mean, Amal's
Yes,
doing
I
so
am.
well. Arman's doing so well.
Absolutely.
Those guys, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
And what were memories of growing up? I mean, this must have been a house full of music.
Oh,
man. Your
insanely
extended
so,
family.
but-
Your granddad, your uncles, you.
With my sister in fashion and all the men in my house in music, I was the sole girl who said,
Yeah, come to think of it.
yeah, I'm going to stand up and do some singing. And it's nice. It added a fresh voice to this household of crazy people, because everyone in my family, including my mum, we all are really creative, and it's not a great place to be. I'm just telling you, when everyone's living in their own version of fantasy. I think my mom's still the most grounded, practical person. But yeah, it's a great family to be a part of.
You know, I did a YouTube and Anmol Malik movies came up.
Anmol Malik movies, that's cool.
Yeah.
Am I
So
getting-
are you
am I getting
making
movie?
short films or what was it? Or I don't know. Or maybe you just made a video and somebody said Anmol Malik movies.
No, I'm not making any short films for now.
For now.
Now. I love
Good.
creating new things. So
And I promised you before
Yes.
that this interview is only going to be about a singing career. So I'm not even going to veer there and make you uncomfortable. Okay? But
just left us in a
if other
cliffhanger.
things happen,
Okay.
promise me that you'll come back and talk about them.
I love this place so much that this will be the first place I come to. No matter if you're taking someone else's interview, I'm going to barge in.
How sweet. Well, let's come back to the fact that, working with dad,
Right.
was there a sense of comfort like home, or was it nervousness and anxiousness saying, my God, I'm working with him?
There's always anxiousness. I don't think there's comfort as such, because the thing is, he's not just my dad, right? He's Mr. Anmol Malik, best in his field, 40 years so far. I'm still making more music, knows his stuff inside out, and then you just stand there. Like, think of it in context. Like, don't think that you're a father and daughter. Think of you as this upstart. Hey, I've got some cool ideas, they're kind of half baked in my head. And then you stand in front of this man who's been judging, singing shows and has given breaks to like thousands of singers, has heard the best of them. And then you're standing in front of him and saying, hey, is my song good enough? You're going to feel scared. You're going to be a little afraid when you're on the mic and you're singing. And as a rule, I realize every time I'm on the mic singing for him, my first line is always off key, because that's just nervousness. I'm always so scared when I'm singing in front of him, because I never want to disappoint him. And it's also a lot of pressure. Like, this entire legacy that he's got going for him is one of the reasons that I've started operating under the name Anmol M, because that's always been my stage name, and now I've started putting it on my published work as well, because it's just a little easier for me. It's a little bit of a smaller platform for me to start making my voice being heard. That way my song gets to be heard a little before people say, oh, here's the background about this girl. And that's very helpful for me, because I kind of do want to start making a little platform for myself.
You're already making a platform for yourself.
Thank you.
don't worry.
Thank you. I've got a very long way to go, but incredibly long way to go. But I think it's going to be okay.
And memories of granddad. I mean, this is the great Sardar Malik. I mean,
Yes.
do you remember as a little kid?
I do,
know?
of course
Yeah,
I do.
yeah.
I don't think anybody on this, there are very few people here who have the kind of knowledge he does when it comes to Hindustani classical music. And that's something that I always look up to, and I really wish, I'd been a lot older when, he'd been around.
Yeah.
Because there was still so much to learn from him, and there was still so much that he had to give to the world, and he, I think, was taken very bit too early from us. But I do think that I'm very proud of what my dad has done in terms of my dada, because he always wanted his music to be known, and it was always his burning desire as a child that he wanted to make a name for himself just so the family could come in the forefront, and he worked really hard for it, and he does so till today. Like, till today, if you take an interview of his, there's no way he's going to end an interview without mentioning his father, whether or not it's kept or not, because he loves him so much, and I think that kind of love has kind of transferred through the family.
So, any gigs that you went to that were really memorable when you were traveling here in India or abroad?
There was one gig which was funny, not for anything else, but because I think, and I'm not going to name the place, but it was around like 9:30, 10, and I think someone announced it's an open bar, and it's not even a small party. This was a party of 650. I think it was a corporate gig of 650, 700 people. Mostly everyone got smashed to the point where instead of singing, I was being asked advice on life. And I just stopped singing. I was like, okay, chal aao jao bhaiya.
Why am I wasting time now?
I'm always listening, it's fine. But the gigs that are really fun are the ones everybody wants to dance. Oh, I love those. Everyone's just so happy. And then I also do a lot of intimate sets where I'll just be, singing my English stuff. And that's something that I kind of live for.
An artist that you've seen on stage and gone, wow, whenever here in India or abroad.
So, Third Eye Blind came to perform in Bombay. And
I had no clue.
Yeah, and there were only 30 people who showed up. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know how nobody knew they were here. And listen, you've got to understand, I was 75 kgs at that point of time, standing right at the forefront of this entire crowd and screaming my head off.
Where was it?
Hard Rock Cafe. And I knew all their songs, right? So I'm screaming around to it. And nobody else is. Nobody else. Everyone's very dignified and they're standing and they're like humming. There's this weird, idiotic girl right at the front just screaming. And then I got on stage, and just to get me off, they gave me their pick. And I have that pick.
What do you say?
Till today, that guitar pick is still there. It's my most prized possession. Like, it's just kept in a little cotton box. No one's allowed to touch it. But that's a gig that I will never forget. But there are so many others. Like, I remember Coldplay very well. Coldplay's gig, oh my God.
I don't think they themselves knew that they would get an audience like that. I remember Chris Martin coming out here at the MMRD grounds and going, oh.
So no, I saw the Coldplay gig in London.
Oh, what are you saying?
Yeah,
That's in their backyard.
Yeah, I was incredibly lucky, firstly, because I fought a lot for those tickets, I remember. I did a lot of... So I used to sing on this on-campus... They had this jazz pub on campus for students, and they would pay you...
This was in the UK?
In the UK.
What were you studying?
Oh my God, people just get weirded out when I say this. I was studying computer science.
That's cool.
Business, film, and music.
And what school was this?
This was Warwick. And they used to have these classes over the weekends in London. So I used to switch my time between Warwick and London, which was an hour.
I remember going to the Warwick Castle.
Yeah. Well, surprisingly, Warwick and Warwick Castle aren't in the
They're
same...
not the same vicinity.
No, at all. That's England for you. But I loved my time in the UK. And so I was singing in this jazz pub on campus for students, and they would kind of pay you per session. And I amassed a lot of these sessions just so I could eventually, after 100 years, buy a ticket. And my ticket was way at the back of this concert, and it was still an incredible experience because their production values, the way they sing as a band is so tight, their melodies, everything just worked. I remember they started with Life in Technicolor. That was the opening song.
Mother. What a song.
My God. That, man, next level, blew my mind. But every time I see a singer perform live, it blows my mind because it takes a certain amount of courage to be on stage and then be comfortable enough to sing and share it with the world. So that always blows my mind.
Dreams and ambitions. That's got to be my last question.
Dreams and ambitions. I've got this thing where I don't usually share what my dreams are because, I don't know, just kind of want them to come true. And I keep working towards them very slowly and steadily. But for now, I want to keep improving my craft. I want to keep being able to put out a lot more indie stuff, whether it's in English or whether it's in Hindi. And I want to start, being known for a very particular sound or a particular style, because as an artist that's very important to me. So when you say when you just say Anmol M, there should be a very distinctive sound that is associated with it. For now, I'm really happy with the kind of response that Tum Hi To Ho and Jia Na Jaye have received. Z Music has been incredible in supporting both these songs, and I'm just excited to see what's out there.
Where can people follow you? Would you give out your social handles?
Absolutely.
And the YouTube channel?
Yeah. I'm available on Instagram as Anmol Malik 5. I'm on YouTube as well. The channel is Anmol Malik. I'm on Facebook as Anmol Malik, and I'm there on SoundCloud if anybody is willing to listen to some of the new stuff. But yeah, social media, not that I like it too much because I'm very bad at uploading stuff. I have no idea how people come up with all these incredible ideas. They'll have these little voter thingies, and I don't know how they do it, but I'm not very good at updating it.
Listen, this has been such a fun ride. Thank you for rolling by.
Thank you so much for having me on this show, and thank you for everyone who's out there listening to me talk on and on and on. But I've had a great time at Radio 1. Thank you so much.
Anmol Malik in the house.
आप आ गए हो तो दिल ये कह रहा है तलाश अब खत्म हुई सुनो ओ कब से दिल का कमरा खाली पड़ा है बुला के दिल में उनसे ये कहो तुम ही तो हो, तुम ही तो हो। धूप की चमक तुम ही तो हो, रंगों की धनक तुम ही तो हो, ये हसीन वक्त तुम ही तो हो, आईने का अक्स तुम ही तो हो। रे बाबा आप आ गए हो तो दिल ये कह रहा है तलाश अब खत्म हुई सुनो। ओ कब से दिल का कमरा खाली पड़ा है, बुला के दिल में उनसे ये कहो तुम ही तो हो, तुम ही तो हो।
Awesome! Guys, it's Anmol Malik with Jiana Jai, the live unplugged version.
तेरा ही नाम क्यों सुबह पे रहता है, ये अधूरी कहानी सपने दिखाता है। जब से तुझको माना है दिल ने ये जाना है, क्यों किसी और की मैं नहीं बन सकी, नहीं बन सकी। जिया न जिया न जिया न जाए, जिया न जिया न जिया न जाए, जिया न जिया न जिया न जाए, जिया न जिया न जिया न जाए.
Well, Anmol Malik says that Ed Sheeran is one of our early influences. How about an Ed Sheeran song?
Okay, one of my favorite ones.
For all the times you try to rain on my parade, and all the clubs you get in using my name, you think you broke my heart, oh boy, for goodness sake. You think I'm crying on my own, well I ain't. And I didn't want to write a song, 'cause I didn't want anyone thinking I still care, I don't. But you still hit my phone up. But mama don't like you and she likes everyone. And then I never liked to admit that I was wrong. And I've been so caught up in my home, didn't see what's going on. Now I know I'm better sleeping on my own. 'Cause if you like the way you look that much, then maybe you should go and love yourself. And if you think that I'm still holding on, then maybe you should go and love yourself.
Sing a beauty.